Okay, so now we did the amazing. Let's do some more amazing stuff. What we're gonna do is we are going to write queries. Or we're gonna write a new method for albumDao. Okay, as I mentioned before, let me close up some of this stuff. Um, I don't need. So in our DAO common again, this particular file contains methods that are applicable for any one of our endpoints. Okay, and so they're very generic in the way that they're written. Okay, because if I say here like this query select all from table, that could be any table in my database, right? So that's pretty generic. That can be applicable to any one of them. Same thing for find by ID. Select all from table where table ID is equal to ID. That can apply to band or label or what have you. Um, Sorter, our sort. This one is pretty applicable as well. Select from table order by whatever our sorter is. If we want to go by, the title of the album or um, the artist's last name, that's applicable for any one of them. Okay. Um, but sometimes we want to write methods that are specific to a particular table. Okay. Take, for instance, the album table. So here I am. Let me go to localhost 3000 API/album. And we'll pull that up. We have information that is specific for the album, right? Um, so we have the title of the album, the artist ID, the band ID, label ID, etc., etc. Maybe I would like to not only list the ID of the artist, but also the artist name. And same thing with band ID, label ID, etc. Um, Maybe I want the label to be listed and not just the label ID. So this is something that is specific to the album table. This would not be a generic query to go inside of DAO Common. This is very specific for the album table. So let's go inside of our album DAO and let's write this one out. Okay. What we'll do here, we already have it started up. We've got our connection we've imported the our DB config. So we got the connection to the database. We have our const album DAO. So it's set up like an object as it is. We have the table as a property and the album. We're exporting it. So all that is good. We just need to write another query or another method rather, which contains a query. And so what I want to do, I want to get like real elaborate. What I think we'll do is we'll get one, let's say find album info. I think that's what I want to call it. Okay. And um this particular um query or this method is going to return more than just the band ID, artist ID, and label ID, but it'll actually return all the information for this uh, particular album. And is so the query is going to be pretty pretty lengthy for this one, but this is where we go back to our SQL knowledge. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be a function. It's going to take the response, and it's going to take the table as an argument. And what are we going to do? I'm going to write my query up here at the top. Yeah, I'm going to say const SQL is going to get, I need some backticks right here. And so, again, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to do some joins. We'll do some aliases. Yeah, we'll do quite a bit of stuff for this particular query. Okay. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to say select. We also need to do conditionals as well. So I'm going to say select. Let's look at the album. We got the album ID. So I'll say al dot album ID. We'll also need the artist ID. So I'm going to get that. I'll say al dot artist underscore ID. We want the band ID, so al dot band underscore ID. This is how I'm gonna do it. Oh, let me title. Let me add that here. Al dot title. Get the label ID. So just gonna add all this stuff in here. Al dot let's say label underscore ID. Al dot year released. I'm not gonna worry about date created and last update. So I got that stuff. Okay, comma, and then here's where we're gonna start with our cases. Okay, so I can say case when so when I could say a r dot artist. How do I want to do this? You know what? Before I make this too difficult for myself, let me do this. Since we already wrote these queries, let me not make this hard for myself or harder for myself. Let me go to my albumDB. Where are you, albumDB? Oh no. Did I lose you? Oh, that's not good. Oh well. I'll write it again. So case when ar dot ar dot alias is not null, then ar dot alias else ar let's see, I need to write this in backticks. AR, no. AR dot first name. I believe it's first name. Let's look at. Let me check and see. Let me be sure. Let me come over here. I'm gonna open up my SQL. Use my albumDB. This is where you got to know your tables, and if you don't know your tables, go look it up. Select or describe artist. So F name. Okay, there we go. So I can say select album ID, a title, case when alias is not null, then F name. You know what we could do? Ha! I know what we'll do. There's always a way. I want to go to my slides because I know I wrote it there. And where's my... There we go. Let's see. Yeah, case when AR, the F name is null, then yeah. All right. So I'm going to say select album, case when the if case, let's see, case when AR.alias is not null, because I want to add that. Then add the alias, else, or say case when it is null. Yeah, I'll do that. When it is null, when it is null, then do empty string. Else, what we do, then we'll show AR.alias. And then end alias, comma, case when, and all these would be kind of be the same thing. So yeah, let me format this the way I have it in my notes. And then the end is, yep. I am a bit of a stickler for this kind of stuff, so it helps me out on a formatting. AR.FName is null, then string. I do have alias for the album. Oh, they don't have alias, so I don't need that anyways. All right, yeah, I don't have an alias table or field. So remove you, sucker. Case when artist first name is null, then empty string, else AR F name. And then end, I'll say first, I'll say end F name. Case when AR.L name is null, then empty string, else AR.L name, end L name, comma, case when band or b.band is null, then empty string, else b.band and band, comma, and then I want the label. So they all have a label. So I'll just say l.label. And I think that's it because that gives me the album ID, the album title, the artist ID, the band ID, the label ID, the year released, the first name of the artist, the last name, the band, and the label. Okay, whew, I think that covers all of that. And then I can say here from album AL, and I want to do, what kind of joins do we want to do? We want to do, I think we want to do the outer joins. Where's the rest of my stuff go? I think what we want to do is the outer join. From, no, we could say, yeah, from album AL. Yeah, we're gonna say left inner join, no, left outer join. Yeah. Left outer join, artist AR using parentheses artist underscore ID. Left outer join band B using band ID. And then this is not going to be an outer left outer join. This is just going to be a label A using label underscore ID. I think this will work. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna find out real quick. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy all of this since I have my SQL server running. Well, let me put a semicolon right there first before I do that. I'm gonna copy this. Run to my SQL server. Would you what? And I think it worked. Let me make this a little smaller. Stretch this out. There's an album ID, the title, artist ID, band ID, by the label ID. Okay. Where's there's the label, band name. So it worked. Cool. So the only thing I want to do to this is I want to order it by the artist ID. So I'll say order by al.artist. Make sure that stays in order. Artist ID. Okay. And there's my SQL for this. All right. I know it's quite a bit, but there it is. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is now I can do my connect.query. Okay. But what I want to do is, because again, I don't want to write all that stuff all over again, meaning my query action. So I'm going to import it here. So I'm going to say const query action gets require. I'm going to go to my helpers that I created. And there's my query action right there. Cool. So I got that. And now I got my SQL query. So now I can come over here and I'm going to say con.query. Okay. And I'm going to pass in my SQL that I just wrote. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm going to say query, I'm sorry, I'm going to say error in rows. There we go. Get it together. And then if there's no error row, we'll take the error rows and then run query action, which will take the first argument as the response, which is coming from way up here. Then we'll take the error, take the rows, and take the table. And that should do it, because we've written enough, right? All right, so now that I got that, there's my find album info. Okay. What I can do now that I've written this method up, I can come over here to album routes. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this find all here. I'm going to add DAO.find album info instead. And that takes a response, and it takes DAO.table as its argument. Let's see if this works. Come back to my browser and refresh. And there's a title. There's an artist ID. Okay, yeah. So also I want to order by album ID. Yeah, so let me change that. Not artist ID. Let's order this album ID, but it looks good. Looks like it's working now. Come back and refresh. Album ID 1, La Supreme. It's got the band ID null, since it's null. So band is empty. John Coltrane, Impulse. The label, yeah, there's a label. Got first name, last name, band. Yeah, great. So that works. Whew. All right, did that in good time. So, but you see here, we're able to write a query that is specific to the album table. Okay. And with that, or from that, we can add that to our routes. So if I wanted to go back and just, use the generic find all, I can do that, but now I can do find album info. Okay. So I probably want to do the same thing for the find by ID. Just copy this and add just where ID is equal to ID. We'll do that later. Okay. So I wanted to show that to you. I'm going to push this up to GitHub. Find album info method. Cool. So I got that pushed up to GitHub. I'm going to stop this video, then go to another one, and maybe we'll add one more method to our find or our album DAO, and then we'll move on. So see you on the other side of this video.